can test our code basically, so we can see if this is passing or not. You just press this arrow here or menu and then run test. Yoo-hoo! Our 16 test pass, so your work is done basically. Hello, today I'm going to help you to create FreeCodeCamp product landing page. As you see here on our right side, this is the original FreeCodeCamp product landing page, and on the left side, this is the page that we are going to create today. So let's follow the instructions that are already given by FreeCodeCamp. We have to follow all these around 15 different user stories to have our test pass. So as also giving us this here link to fork this code bin code or area. So just right click and open it on new tab, and I already opened this on different screen here to start work with. We'll keep the original FreeCodeCamp landing page on our right side to guide us, and we'll start writing our code on the left side on code bin. So on code bin we have 3 sections here. On the left one is the HTML, on the middle one for CSS, on the right one for JavaScript. We are not going to use JavaScript on this video, so we're going to just close this area. And also for now, to have more space, we are going to close CSS area just to keep HTML. Let's start writing our HTML code. So we'll start by creating the first div with a class called main to wrap all the content of our page, and close the div, and inside the div will be everything that's related to this page for the product landing page. And inside the main we can add also a header and with an ID is called header2 header, and just closing the header. And inside the header I will bring just the things that inside the header I just created. So I will start to create the parent by typing, and then I will bring the child of the parent, because just to keep the time, not spending all the time for typing. And this the child of the header. So the header, it will have first div, and this first div will be representing the logo. Let's just give you more space. I think that's all we have. So here we have the first child will be the logo. We'll create a div with the class called logo for styling to add later styling for this logo, and also has an image HTML element, and with an ID header-image and alt attribute to describe the image. Basically we'll be doing a tick logo. I'm going to use my channel logo image URL. You can use your own image URL, or you can bring any image URL. So for example, I'll show you quick how I got my channel logo. Basically you need to open the inspector and then just press this icon here and select the image that you need to use. Then you can see here the image source, and you can use it as your image logo source. And also the second parent we have inside the div, or inside the header, sorry. So we have nav. We created nav, and this is the nav with an ID navbar to use it later also for styling. And this is also one of the FreeCodeCamp user story we have to do. And inside the nav we have an order list, and with the 3 list item. The first list item will be representing here, if you see the features on the right, and also how it works. The second list item, and the third one is the pricing. So this is our header, the first section. Let's go to second one. The second here, this form. So the form has a title and has 2 inputs. The first input, the place where you can add your email, and second one will be submit button. So I already also let's as I promised, I will just type the parent. Let's start by adding a div with the class form. I will use the class later for styling, and just close the div. And inside here I will bring the child of this form, and the child will be, just let me add it here. Just let's tidy this one first to make it more readable. Yeah, and just this here more. Okay, so the child of the form will be a form and h2. So this is the parent of the form, and the first child will be h2, which will just displaying this heading. Already we have it, and also it has another second child, the form itself, with an ID called form. This is one of the FreeCodeCamp user story, and also has an action. This action should take you to this URL, and also already this is mentioned here as one of the user story is provided here. You have to use this URL, and also has a input, first input. The type will be email, and placeholders. This will display this text. If you see here in this input, the same if we have here down left. It will display a message for a user, say enter your email address, and also the name of the input will be email, and with an ID. The ID will be email, to just differentiate the input from other inputs if we have like multiple inputs. And also this input will be required. So basically when you press this start, this get start button, it will ask you to fill this input. And the second input with an ID called submit, and the type submit, and value which will be displayed on here on the screen will be get started. This is a form, basically very simple, and if you see on the UI, it doesn't look nice at all. So it will be changed after adding the CSS. If we move to, first I noticed I added the form inside the header. We should add it outside the header. Let's go out, just because this header is independent section, and this is the second section will be only for the form, and then add more space down. We'll add this the third section, which will be features. So let's just add the parent will be div, with the parent will be features, div with an ID called features, and just closing the parent div. And inside the parent we are going to bring the child of this features, which has, if you notice, this has three section or three card. I will call them as a card. Each one of them will represent a card with the title and paragraph and icon. So I will just bring the first card. Here if you see, I will just paste it here. Just let's tidy this up. And this is the first card, has a parent with the class card just for styling. Later we'll use it. And also this will be representing the icon. So we'll create a div and with the class icon, and inside the class we are going to use free font awesome icon. So this is the class for font awesome icon. This icon here will be called like fa-3x. This is the size of the icon, and fa-fire, this is the type of the icon basically. And then we have another div with the class content, which will be displaying the title and the content, the paragraph, sorry. I just copied the same title and the same paragraph. So I will repeat the same for the rest of these two. So basically for fast shipping and for quality insurance. I will just bring the second two cards. It will be the similar approach, just with a different data. It will be similar HTML elements. Just inside here, after the first card, we'll add the second two cards. So this is the same, will be the same layout with the parent of class card and icon as the first child, and the second child will be content, which has also title and paragraph, and same as the third one. So this is the features section. If you see here down on the HTML, if you scroll down, it's like now it's very dummy. text, and also we don't see the icon because I didn't add the font awesome library yet, but let me just add that one first before go to next step. So if we drag and open again the CSS area and try press this icon and search here for font, and then just scroll down, you will find on one option is font awesome here. So if you try, before I select, if you try see here on this left down section, and when I select font awesome, it will show the icons. It will take some time and reloading. Now see, I will just close this window, and if you see now we have these icons with the default color, which is black. We are going to change this color later on by using the CSS. So now we have our features section is being done for HTML. Let's move to next section. That will be just outside the feature parent. We'll create another div, which is this one for how it's work, which will be just a video. I will create a parent with a div and ID. The ID, it's called how it works. How it work. And just close the parent div, and inside here I'm going to bring embedded YouTube a video, one of my channel videos. How to do that? Basically you can bring it from anywhere. Basically I'm going to show you how to bring it from YouTube. For example, if you have any video on YouTube and you need to use it, so basically I go to my channel. Just let me close this one and just press here share icon and then press embedded, and it will give you this code here, and then press copy. After you're copying the code, and you need to come here and just paste it. I already have it here because I need to add the ID as a FreeCodeCamp required to do that as one of the user story. So yeah, this is the code that I just copied, and it will be just has iframe HTML element with the ID of you have to add this ID. It will not come from the YouTube. You need to add this ID with the video. The value it will be video, and everything will come from the YouTube, basically the width and height and the source element and with other attributes. So this is the search section for how it works is being done. If we scroll down and see the HTML on the page now, we have video, and doesn't look nice for now, but we are going also to change it to look better when using CSS. Let's move to the search section, which pricing. Pricing, we have 3 cards here, so I will just call this one as a card. Basically has a title, price, and some text, and also a button. So I will just start writing the parent div with an ID called pricing, and just closing the parent. And inside the parent, I'm going to bring the children of this parent, which will have 3 childs, so or children, sorry. And I will just bring the first one to explain the content of it. And so this is the first child will be with a class card for styling, and has also heading h2. As you see here, this is the first one will be a heading, as the text the same one text. I just copy that text, and the price with the HTML strong element, and also for the text we're using a paragraph, and for the button we're using HTML button element. And the rest of the 2 cards will be just similar to the first card with a different data, basically having the same HTML structure elements. So be the same with the parent of class card, and also heading and strong HTML element and paragraph and a button, and the same for the third one. If we just scroll down and try to see here, now we have the 3 card without using any CSS, so it doesn't look nice, but after adding the CSS it should be looks the same on the right side. So let's move to the last section, which is the footer. This one on the bottom here. And just let me create a parent. Before the end here is open a div. Sorry, it will be called footer instead of div, because already we have HTML footer element. Footer, and just inside the footer I'm going to bring the children. We don't need to have an ID for this footer because it's already unique. So inside the footer we are going to have two children. So the first child will be an order list with the 3 list item, which the first one for it will call privacy, and second one terms, third one contact, as we have here on the original page. And also the last one will be paragraph. It will just display the copyright text which we have here. And if we scroll to the bottom of the page, if you see down here we have footer without any CSS change. So let's move to next stage, which adding the CSS. I will start by adding the CSS for, I already also have the CSS ready, so just to keep the time instead of typing, I will just explain what does that mean. I will start by applying the font family for all the body, so this will be applied for any item inside the body, and also the background color too for all the body will be with this type of color, sort of gray, but it's not a gray. And also main, this is the main class that we added earlier. It will be wrapping all our content, so this one here. So with the display flex and flex direction will be column to make all the content in one column. And also with the max width 1280, this is just I chose this number. You can choose any like a proper number that you need to use, but this for like most of the screen like would be using, or most of the website using this width. And also margin 0 auto, also to bring the content on the middle of the screen, and padding to give us more padding up and down of for the content, and position relative to keep everything inside the parent. If we applied any position, different position related to the children. Next one will be the header style. So I already have it here, so I just add it to after the main, and I will add a command line to make a difference between the style. Basically, so I brought more than just the header. Here's the header, so it will be just this command line. It will just show you the header styling section or area. We'll start by the header. Here selector the ID as we have in our left here. So the header will be displayed just flex to give us like more flexibility to move the item by default on the middle of the screen, and give it max width to 100 to take the full width. And the direction will be column to bring all the children one row on one column, sorry. And also align item center to bring the item into the center of the header, and adding padding to have more padding around the header. Position fixed, so when we're moving the content, the header should be not move. As you see here, when moving the content, the header is fixed now, is not moving. And also left 0, right 0, top 0, this to make it take the full width for on just like a small. We'll start by applying the CSS for a small device, and then later we'll use media query to apply the CSS on large screen. So the next one item inside the header, we have logo, just display flex to make it compatible with flex. We can later apply more items about flex. And the image will give it like full width with the image, the logo image. It will take the full width 100%, and border radius will be 50% to make it like a square. And then we have the nav bar to display also flex, and we'll give it flex grow 1 to take the full available area or available space that can be used. And also align item center to just center the item of the nav bar on the middle of the header. And the same, we have an order list, text align center to move the text on the small screen on the center of the header. and padding 0 just to remove any padding for an order list. And for the list item, will display block to by default is inline, just to have them on 3 different lines, and also give it give each list item margin button to have like a space between each other. And for anchor tag, we're adding a color as a black and font size around 20, just to make it more accessible to people and easy to read. Text decoration none, so usually by default we'll have underline here on this for example, if you scroll to the bottom here, this is the default one, anchor tag, but when you use text decoration none, we'll try to remove that text decoration. And if we move to the next section, which is the form, yeah, and same, giving like full width and display flex, and same previous like flex styling. Direction will be column to bring all the stuff on one column, or all the content to one column, and align items to center, and to center the stuff of the form on the center of it. Margin top 100 to give it to give it more space after the header. So if you see this margin top 100 is not enough, because now we can't see the form. We can let's just increase that margin top to be 200. And now if you see we have that 200 is not enough, we can give it 250. Sort of is okay. So that's now our form after adding the style. So basically the form itself, this is a parent to bring all the content on the middle of the screen, and the form HTML element, the selector, will be the first one, the class, and the second one, the HTML element. We'll try apply also the same flex to bring its style, because the form itself, HTML form, it has two inputs, and these two input we need to apply flex style to them. Basically we'll give max which is 430, and we'll bring all the child on the center. If you see this two on the center of the content, and also we'll give input as a display block because the default one inline. So basically this both will be in one line. When we give it a block, it will give us on two different lines. The two input will be on two different lines. And if you go to the first input, we'll just try to add the specific style for this first input here. So we'll give it just margin button to give more space between the two inputs, and also to give it a max width, like a proper width. You can give it less or more, it's up to you. You can add your own style, and also give it a background color to have a different background color, just to look similar to original landing page. And also go to next input, which is the last input inside the form. We just select that only the last one to make it look as same as this button here, or at least similar, close sort of. And yeah, just give it margin button and background color, padding, font weight to make it bold, font size to make it a little bit larger, border none, just we don't, by default the button it will have a border, we'll disable that border. And border radius 4 pixel, just on the each corner we'll give it a border radius. If you see here, it is not very sharp. So that's the second button of the form. Let's move to the next section, which is the features. So I will just bring features styling. If you see the feature down on the HTML before adding the style, we have these three cards, and after adding the style should be look similar to this. And just let me add new line, and this is a CSS for the features. Let's start by first one, the parent. We'll give it the max width 100 to make it responsive. Basically when I give max width and 100%, then it will be responsive when move between. I just show you what I mean by responsive. Let's just show you here. If you see here, now we have these three cards. We can drop, see if like they resizing with us, and this resizing is called responsive, and that when you give it max width and percentage, it will make it look like this. and we'll give it margin auto 0 and 0 and auto this to bring the contour on the middle of the screen, and display flex to make the items applying to flex style. And the next one will be first card. Will display the card flex and align the item of the card on the center of it. And the icon will give it just width like 100 pixel, and also will give it width 100% to take all that 100 of 100 pixel. Color, it will give it just color the same one that was showing here. Let me see. If you see the icon will disappear on a small screen. Yes, go small. Yeah, will disappear on a small screen and will appear again on large screen. And this icon should be saying have the same color. And the icon are not showing here down because I'm adding display none. By default, this will be on a small screen, and later on large screen I will give it display block to be visible only on large screen. And also we have content. So flex, the content will take flex grow one, just will take the all available space, and text align to center all the text basically. Let's move to next section, which is how it works. This is where we have this video. So just let me bring let's just give more space. Let's bring the style for that area. Actually, that's very simple and short code for CSS for this section. It's only one style here element, and this is for feature. Sorry, this is how this is for feature. I'm going to change this to be how it works. And this will be just to have max width 100% and margin top and down 50 and left right auto to bring the video onto the middle of the screen. If you see now, if you scroll to bottom, now it's bringing this video to the middle. And let's move to next before the last section, which is this cards here. And if you see the cards before the styling, it's now look like this one. After adding the CSS, styling should be look similar on the right side. Just let's bring the pricing CSS. So it's here. Yes, out here, new line. And this is the pricing CSS. I will start by top. So by the parent first always. The parent has 100% and has display flex and direction column. Will bring all the child by default on the middle of the screen. All of them in one column. And also the card, each card will be having a style to have a margin auto, 0 auto to bring itself on the middle of the screen, and also margin button to give like a space between here and to each card. If you let's just scroll down, show you that. If you see now, we have the card on all the card on middle of the screen, and also down each one has around 15 pixel. Also has a width as full 100%, but the pix by pixel has 340. To force to take full this area, we need to use width equal 100%, and also has a border radius for pixel and text align center to move all the text in the center of the card. And the first title on the card, so it has a background sort of like gray. It's not gray, but it's closer, and also a color of black color, and also padding to give more padding, top down 15 and right left 0, and width take width 100 of the card, and text transform uppercase to make it look like this uppercase. When I write, the text itself will be lowercase, but this uppercase will make it to be look like uppercase. Font weight is bold, and margin is 0, and margin button 15 pixel to give it more space down. And the card and stroke element inside that card, we are giving it just font size 24 to make it more larger. And for the button itself, we're styling it to make it look like a similar FreeCodeCamp card as a select button. just we give it a border 0. By default we'll have a border, we'll just disable that border. Margin top down 15, right left 0. Background color is this hash code the same as this background color. And padding top down 8 pixel, left right 20 pixel, and border none. And also border radius 2 pixel on the, just to make border radius on the corner of the card of the button, sorry. And crosser is a pointer, just when you hover on the button to change the what's called mouse to be like a pointer. Like this is a normal mouse, when I just hover on the card it will change to be pointer. And this basically is the pricing card. So now it looks like similar to the right side, so after adding the CSS. And moving to the last section, which is a footer. If you see the footer before the style, so this is how it looks, the footer. And we are going to bring the footer CSS. Let's make it easy and quicker. And just after here I'll add new line, and just let's go quick for this one. The footer itself will has padding all areas like top down, left right 20 pixel, margin top 30 pixel to give more space between the footer and the pricing cards. And also text align center to bring all the text to center of the screen. I'm not going to make it similar to this one. I will bring the text to center, as you see here, on the center of the footer. And also the order list will get padding 0, just to remove any padding. And an order list will have inline display inline, so all of them will be one line. And also we'll give the first not the last, will apply margin right for all list item except the last list item. And we are also adding a color for anchor tag inside this list item. And also we'll remove the text decoration to make it look like this without a text decoration. This is how it look on small screen. So the header will be look like this. Let me just drag it and make it smaller. So this is how it look on the small screen, which should be look similar to this on small screen. This is how it look all small right and left. So now we need to apply different styling for large screen. So to make the header look like on the right here on large screen, and same the card. See, when we go to large screen, the card now 3 of them on one line here, on one row, sorry. And we should make it look same. And also the features here has an icon. We should show the icons and to make it look similar to this one. To do that, we are going to use media query. And I will just let me bring the media query section. Just add new line. This is a media query. How to define a media query? Basically, this is just description for this area. First, we'll say just add a media, and then open a parenthesis. Inside will be starting with the min width, with the minimum width, and from this width and up a level, try to apply this style. For example, from 550 breakpoint, we are going to apply different style for icon. We are going to make the icon to be display block. If you scroll down, now we are going to see the icons. Yes, if you see here, we have this icon, but if you go to smaller than 550, 100 will disappear the icon. If you see now, we don't have icons. It's hard to struggle here. If you go to smaller screen, now the icon disappearing because we are using media query to make it appear on only in large screen or larger breakpoint. So now this is the first media query, and we're showing the icon on large screen or above 550 breakpoint. And also we make the text of the card to be displayed on the left instead of middle of the card. And for next breakpoint will be 600 on this. On the header, we are going to change the header flex direction to be row instead of column. and we added left and right some space. If you see now, the header is being changed on like larger screen, more than 600. If we go lower than 600, will be one column. Now one column, and when we go to larger screen will be one row. This is how we're using media query to change between to change different direction for the flex. And same for an order list, we'll give it 100% and display flex, and move all the content on the right. When using the justify content flex int, we'll move all this an order list to right of the screen, or right of the header. And also the list item will have display inline to make all of them be displayed on one line, and margin right 50 pixel. And then we are moving the margin right from the last list item here, so just not having more margin we don't need for the last item. And moving to last media query, which is the 800. Over the 800 pixel, we are going to change the direction of the pricing parent for this card here will be displayed all in one row instead of one column. It will be displayed instead of one column here and 3 row on a small screen, will be displayed on one row and with the 3 columns on the larger breakpoint. And also we are going to not applying margin right for the last card for the pricing. Let's just see that how look down. If you scroll down here, now if you see here, this is greater than 800 pixel, we see all the card on one row and 3 column, and also having margin right 15, but the last card doesn't have a margin right. If we go to lower than 800, will be 1 column and 3 row. And see now we have 1 column and 3 row for the pricing. And this for the media query. And this is a product landing page. I hope that was useful and easy. And now we can test our code basically, so we can see if this is passing or not. You just press this arrow here or menu and then run test. Yoo-hoo! Our 16 test pass, so your work is done basically. Thank you. Don't forget to press the subscribe button and enable the bell to get the latest change. Besides, if you like this video, press like button. That will support me to continue and uploading more videos. Also, do not forget to leave your comment about this video, or if you have any idea that needs me to do a video for. Thanks for watching.